Welcome to the podcast Do You Care Now, where we talk about our hyperfixations, obsessions, and passions. Every week I try to convince a new guest to care about figure skating, and they mostly don't. And every week they try to convince me about their passions. And today we have one that I think is even more niche than figure skating. I'm not gonna lie about you.
I don't know if I agree with that, but we will see.
Do you want to say what it is?
So my hyperfixation is the American pop boy band Big Time Rush.
Not the American pop boy band.
Self-branded. Yeah, I've loved them since I was a kid, and I still love them.
Okay,
we'll get into it.
I feel like I am a fish coming into the ocean and I can finally breathe, because the amount of questions I have for you is insane. I've been holding off because I knew we were going to do this.
It's my favorite thing to talk about, so I'm very ready.
Okay, amazing. First, I'm guessing you watched it with the show. How old were you when the show came out?
It came out in 2009, so I just turned 9. And then it ended in 2013, so I was in middle school.
Okay, so the formative years, the years where the trauma bonding happens.
The most cringe years a person can have, honestly.
But you know what? The most loyal fans are created during that time. That is why.
I mean, yeah, it's peak fangirl era. Like, I was 12.
It's literally like full body shaving moment. No, just
no
me.
comment.
Just me and One Direction. All right. But I do need to know, because the show ended. And I didn't even know. Maybe I'm alone. Maybe the BTR. Wait, what are their stands called? I was gonna say BTR Army. Rushers. Because BTR Army sounds a little bit too close to BTS Army.
Do not use those two in the same sentence ever again. We don't need to go there.
We might need to bleep that out. But the Rushers. I guess that makes sense. And do you rush? I don't even know how to. Okay, so the show ended when you were 13.
Yeah.
And did they continue? I'm gonna be completely honest. This is a safe space. I was a Victoria's girl.
Yeah.
I was not a
that's
Big
fair.
Time Rush person. I was not a rusher. I wasn't rushing to the stage for them. I didn't even know they performed outside of the show. I genuinely thought it was contained. It was kind of like, like Hannah Montana. Like, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, funny you say that, because their last big U.S. tour was the summer break tour, and they co-headlined with Victoria Justice.
Oh, iconic.
But yeah, so after the show ended, they did a few more shows through 2014, but from there they were just kind of done. They moved on to their solo projects.
No, they have solo projects.
They do. Well, Kendall actually.
Who's your bias? I need to know.
Logan,
which
Day
is
one,
the tall one. Wait, they're all tall.
Well,
Logan is the short one with the swoopy hair.
Sure.
I should have done more investigation before.
If you watched the show, he was the nerdy one in the show.
Oh, okay. So I know Carlos because he's the Dominican one. Hello.
Yeah, Logan's the other short one.
Okay, so there's the two ones. Now I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Kendall's the blonde one, and then James is the pretty one.
Yeah, Kendall.
Yeah.
James was the hair swoopy one. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so they did their first few tours, and they did solo projects. So you were gonna say something about the solo projects.
Yeah. So Kendall actually had a band before Big Time Rush called Heffron Drive, and then they kind of picked it back up.
It's giving a little Ross Lynch,
Sure, I mean, yeah, it's
something
him
Drive era.
Yeah, the Drive era. I guess you could say that, yeah, because it's Kendall and another guy, Justin. It's kind of a duo. So yeah, they kind of went into that, and Logan, the rest of them kind of made solo music, but Carlos went more so into acting. He got married to Alexa Vega,
of
and they are now the
freaking
Vegas.
Spy Kids fame.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it? She honestly. Awakening. I don't know if it was a gay awakening. Some sort of awakening happened when I watched Spy Kids, and she did the little Britney Spears dance.
Yes. Oh my
God. Thank you. Somebody remembers. Somebody fucking remembers.
I do remember.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And there was some MLM controversy, I think, with her, but I haven't investigated too much about that. I know they are a TikTok couple. They're giving kind of Megan. What's her name? All About That Bass girl.
Oh, Meghan Trainor.
They're giving a little bit Meghan Trainor energy on TikTok
because Meghan Trainor is married to the boy from Spy Kids. So the couples are close friends.
The way my brain just made that connection without knowing.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh my God. All right. I need to know how you went from just a Big Time Rush fan who was watching them on TV to, because the reason she's here is not just she's a stan. You're not just a stan. I've known you for maybe 2 years, and the amount of times you have flown around the country to see Big Time Rush is. I mean, not even K-pop stans I know have done that.
I did come prepared with a final show count. I have seen Big Time Rush live 43 times.
43 times.
43.
That's the amount of shows I thought they had in total. I'm not going to lie. But 43 times, and you have like a crew.
Yeah. Okay. So
I need you to explain how you found yourself in this crew, how did you go from watching them on a show to them doing solo projects intermittently to them deciding we're officially musicians and you saying I stand, I'm coming.
okay. So basically, back in the day, because they did tours like in and around the TV show, and I got to see them 4 times on their tours, but I never got to meet them, and that was the thing that like was always like heartbreaking for me because I was like, I never got to tell them how much I love them. Like,
and you did. We're getting attacked by leaves.
Anyways, and so the band broke up, and I kind of like ditched them and went into my emo phase like in high school because it just made me sad that they weren't around anymore.
You're like a metal girl, right?
Yeah, literally aside from like Big Time Rush and some other pop girlies, I listen to like
Are you
rock,
listening
metal.
to this? Like it's rock hard, like hard rock, metal, and Big Time Rush.
Yeah, I mean my other favorite band is like Black Veil Brides, Motionless in White, like very stark
grip
differences.
these white men have on you is insane.
Okay,
for
but
you to be like
yeah. But anyway, so they announced a like comeback. They announced 2 comeback shows in summer of 2021. They all changed their like yeah, it was like post COVID. They all changed their like profile pictures to red, and everyone was like, oh my god, something's coming. And they put out this like TikTok or like Instagram reel announcement video like, hey, we should like play a couple shows. So they did 2 shows in December 2021. One was in Chicago, one was in New York City. I lived in New York at the time, but I had like plans that day. So my best friend from high school and we made plans to go to the Chicago show.
Okay.
So we got tickets, did the whole thing. When we got there, we ended up meeting these 2 other girls, and basically,
Rushers.
yes, and basically that became like the ride or die group chat. We made a group chat at the show that night called the Big Time Blurs.
Love.
And yeah, that just kind of like
Escalated.
Yeah, because at the time they did the comeback shows, no one really knew if they were going to keep touring or if this was just kind of a one-off thing they were going to do. But we kept this group chat going, and we were like, if they tour, like, we are traveling together. Like, we were just kind of all on the same page that, like, this is what we wanted to do.
Yes.
They announced the Forever Tour, which was, like, their first big comeback tour in, like, February of 2022. So a couple months after the comeback shows. And from there, we just started, like, buying tickets.
But wait. So they announced this tour, and you start buying tickets to different, like, dates.
I mean, we planned basically at first just the ones of, like, okay, I live in New York. My other friend lived in Detroit. Another friend lived in Florida. So we were just going to kind of, go where we lived. But then it was kind of, well, this one's, like, close by and drivable, and this one's on the same weekend. And then it ended up being 8 shows. And then as the tour went on, we got FOMO, and then it ended up being 14 shows.
When did they start recognizing you? Because I know they know you.
This is, like, what was the craziest part to us was we had kind of told ourselves, like, because we had a string of, like, 10 days that we were kind of on, like, a road trip. And then a week after that was going to be, like, the Florida shows. And we kept saying to each other, like, if they recognize our faces by the Florida shows, like, childhood dreams accomplished.
What number was the Florida shows? Like, how many shows had you gone to by then?
Probably, like, 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're like, oh my god, if they recognize our faces, like, dream come true. I'm not kidding. Like, we walk into a meet and greet together the very first show of the tour, and Carlos, like, remembered us from the comeback shows.
My man Carlos, my Dominican brother.
Insane. And I was like, oh my god. And then there was one more show after that, and then by the 3rd show, which we didn't even have, like, meet and greet at that 3rd show, they picked all 4 of us as the worldwide girls and brought us on stage together.
When they sing to you? I'm guessing there's like a One Less Lonely Girl moment.
They have a song called Worldwide, and they will either bring up one girl or like each guy will bring up a girl. So far on the tour, they'd only been doing one. I don't know, we all 4 of us made signs together.
Each boy gets a girl.
We kind of saw them like looking during the song before. And then they all start like whispering to each other, and Carlos like makes eye contact with us, and we're just like, oh my god.
Wait, did you see the idea of you?
Not yet.
Oh, there's a moment where they whisper to each other and he sings to Anne Hathaway. That literally happened to you.
I'm gonna throw up when I see that. But anyways, so yeah, they brought us all on stage together, which was so unexpected because they weren't even bringing 4 girls up at the time. And just watching like the video back after it happened, James made a comment of like, these girls are like have been to so many shows and blah blah blah, and we're just like, this is number 3. What do you mean? Like again, just so unexpected. Like, I mean, literally.
They knew what they were doing. Because the moment they picked you, you said, well, now this is a life path. Now this is a career.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go to every show.
And it's also, like, it took so much, like, stress out of going to the shows because Worldwide Girl is something that, like, in the fandom, people get very, very, like, I don't want to use the wrong word, but, like, just, like, fixated on when they go to a show. It's like you make a big poster, like,
you gotta,
even
like, show up and show
yeah,
out.
it's like who can make the biggest poster, like, sometimes they do just, like, pick people that they kind of know that go to a lot of shows kind of as the tours have gone on. But it really just is a thing of, like, trying to get noticed and, like, have that be, like, your show where you
Wait,
get
are you
picked.
telling me there was controversy that all 4 of you got picked? Was there drama in the fandom?
Fortunately,
No.
people were overall very supportive.
Okay.
It was really just, like, a select few people as time, like, at that point. But I feel like as time went on, like, by the end of the tour, well, okay.
By the end of the tour, how many dates did you go to?
Me personally, 14. Between my friend group, like 14 to 19. Because there were some shows that we, like, did together and some that only 2 people went to type of thing.
So then you guys started getting recognized within the fandom as those girls.
Well, that's why I brought up the group chat name Big Time Blurs, is people just kind of call us, like, the Blurs, like, our friends, and, like, on Twitter.
not people
and
call us.
stuff.
The
And-
fandom calls you the Blurs.
Well, by the last show of tour, a hashtag starts going around, Blurs Behind Bars. No,
girl, I'm talking to
but
some
again,
controversy right here.
It's, again, the majority of people, like, we're friends with, like, you know, the vast majority of the fandom, but then
Yes.
people kind of pop up that don't really know us and, like, understandably get upset because
Were they
like,
thinking it was favoritism?
well, that's exactly
Okay.
and that's exactly what it is. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, deny that we got, like, special treatment or more interactions during the shows in certain
Gotcha.
ways just because they recognize us. And, like, I can totally see how that's, like, unfair and would upset people. You know, I'm not gonna, like, claim ignorance about it, but like, it's at the same time, I don't think it's really our fault.
Yeah,
because all we did was show up.
Exactly. You created a relationship. I mean, y'all
Not
showed
a
up.
parasocial one, to be clear, because those
We're
allegations
physically
are also
there.
circling. But no, I mean, it's very clearly a fan-artist relationship,
Yeah.
but because they recognize our faces, they will come to us for things. And, I mean, my friend made a joke about it. She was like, do you want us to, like, close our eyes when they come up to us? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand how it, like,
I mean, if they
can be
recognize
seen,
you and they
but-
feel now, like, friendly enough to be like, oh my god, hey,
Yeah,
again.
no, and I mean, it was such a great tour, and, like, even their team on the tour, like, photographers, VIP managers, like, security, everyone was just so, like, welcoming to us, and every time they would, like, see us at another show, they'd be like, oh my god, the Blurs are here, and it was just, like, such a sweet, like,
Not them
family.
knowing your code name as well.
Yeah. But it was just, like, a very
We need a
sweet,
sequel to the
like,
idea of you, and this needs to be the plot point. It needs to be a
family
group of
vibe.
stan. When is the fangirl movie gonna come out? We got fanfics, we got Wattpads. Where is the fangirl stan movie gonna come out? Because that is
I don't
the
know.
story.
They kind of tried to make one about All Time Low a few years ago, but it didn't really hit.
All-time-
And then
you-
All Time Low got canceled.
Your
so-
references, I'm like, you stand every random, because we're gonna touch on MadCon. We will touch on MadCon.
Okay.
However, so that was their first tour, and I don't know if it's you. I don't know if my algorithm is listening to me talk or what. But the videos I'm getting, am I crazy or are they like popping off now?
So the really interesting thing about Big Time Rush, and I've been saying this throughout the last couple of years, is like, because, you know, most artists, I feel, will have like really huge streaming numbers, and then their live shows are like not as good or they don't sell as well. But Big Time Rush, like, they put out like a new single and it only gets like a couple million streams, but they sell out full arena tours, and they have the craziest live
Arena.
shows. They are the best like performers I've ever seen.
Okay, well, I don't know if I will that, but I will say they do have stage presence. I will say the TikToks I do see are a little bit of like, look at these uncles dancing. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, no, it's not that they're like dancing is the best, but they are so good at like banter between songs. Their like vocal performance, like they
will say
harmonize
that.
so
They do hit.
effortlessly. And so in that way, I think they're just like really incredible performers.
Aw.
And their fan interaction. That's the thing. Like, not just obviously me and my friends, but with
I was
the
gonna
whole,
say you're a part of the Blurs.
No, but with the whole crowd, really, they just take so much time to sing to people and hold hands, and they. Both of their like recent summer tours, they had songs that they dedicate to going out in the audience and like hugging people, singing to people. So like they really care a
Gotcha.
lot about getting to interact with as many people as possible, and I think that's what makes it like so personable.
Is now their whole careers musicians? Because maybe I am an ignorant fool, an uncultured swine. However, I did not know that these grown men were like, you know what, that Nickelodeon show we had, bops. I'm gonna make it my whole ass career. Like, I didn't know that that's what they do now. Like, I thought they were
Yeah.
trying to make it, I don't know, as actors.
I mean, they still have kind of their other avenues. Like Carlos has still done movies with Alexa, and you know, Logan has talked about getting back into acting, and there's been like, I feel like every interview they do, they get asked about doing a reboot of the TV show, because there was like the iCarly reboot and whatever. And they keep hinting that something's in the works, but I get the sense that they don't all want to go that route.
There's a divide.
So kind of unsure what the future is. I know they're working on more music right now. They have a European tour next month.
Okay,
aside from that-
promo for Big Time Rush, because they desperately need
Yeah,
it.
if you're in Europe.
I
Not me,
wanna
though.
know- I'm gonna catch you in one of them shows. Every time I see a Big Time Rush video on my timeline, I'm like zooming in. I'm like, is that Emily? I need
You
to
should have
know.
seen the texts coming in when they announced the European tour from just like different friends being like, "What shows are you doing?" I swear to God, none of them.
Catch her at one of them shows. I promise you. You will
No,
not be able to withstand. I know
The thing
you.
is, like, so Forever Tour, the 2022 tour, like, best time of my life, tour of my dreams. Last summer, they went on the Can't Get Enough tour, which was for, like, supporting their new album.
Oh, because they're dropping new music now.
Yeah,
Okay.
they released a new album called Another Life right before the tour. And so this past tour set list kind of was more so the new music, while, like, Forever Tour was kind of the nostalgia type of stuff. And as it does, the Can't Get Enough tour, I felt just the vibe shifted. I don't know. The fandom found itself in more drama because more people were going to more shows. Like during the Forever tour, I felt like my friends and I were kind of like a very small majority of people that were kind of traveling this whole tour. And with the second tour, that really like picked up a lot more, which is like fun because more friends are like traveling, coming to shows. But then it also creates more like cattiness for people. I don't even think I ever finished that sentence about the worldwide thing. Is like because people fixate so much on trying to get worldwide, that was like a really cool thing that my friends and I are so grateful for, is like we could just go to all these shows and enjoy them, and like we helped so many of our friends get picked by like shining like flashlights on them to try to get the guys' attention, and like making signs, and like not having to like worry about that for ourselves, or worry about like, oh, 2 of us got picked but 2 didn't, was just like such a relief. And like,
Yeah.
Big Time Rush, if you're watching, we're really grateful. Thank you so much. We love you.
Well, I do want to dive, as much as I loved giving free promo to a big boy band that doesn't need me, I want to know more about what made you stay in the fandom. Like, is it the group? Is it like the fact that it's kind of this little community that, I will say again, very niche. Maybe now not so much anymore. But
Well,
when
that-
they first started, I can't imagine you had many people around you besides those 4 people that were Big Time Rush super fans, because everybody knows them. But you
Well,
know.
that's why it feels niche until you go to their shows, because so many people like just recognize the name and buy tickets, like or
there's just, like,
see the
nostalgia.
TikToks that you've seen and been like, this looks so
Yeah,
fun,
that,
and buy tickets.
TikTok,
so,
I remember that.
The shows are definitely huge, but it really is just like the friendships
Oh.
and like my, not just like the Blurs group chat, but even I mean we also have like so many other friends that we've made.
But what I'm getting to is IRL.
Yeah.
Are they mostly, because your friend that lives, was she in New York or was she Chicago? The one you went to Chicago with.
She's from Ohio. She's like my
Got you.
high school best friend.
Got you. But like, I'm saying the community is kind of online, is what I'm saying. For you.
Yeah. Well, the wider community, but
Got you. Well, I'm just trying to relate this back
yeah.
to figure skating, because that's the whole reason.
yeah, no,
With
it's
me,
it's
why
mostly
I keep
like
going
a
is because I have no one IRL to talk about.
yeah, it's
it.
mostly like a Twitter fan base. And I think that's kind of where, like, again, because you wanted to get into the drama, some of the, like, disconnects come up, is that there'll be kind of groups of people who go to all the shows and, like, are IRL friends at this point, because we, like, travel physically so much
Yeah.
together. And then there's people who, you know, don't really go to the shows, or are not able to, or live in different areas where they don't tour. And so I feel like the fandom kind of gets divided a bit into those kind of two
Like the people
sections.
who can actually go.
Yeah,
lot, and
which
the
you
people who
know
don't have
is
the-
unfortunate, and it leads to people feeling left out, and that makes me very sad.
Hmm.
But so yeah, I mean, I would say overall the community's on Twitter, but like my personal community, I only really talk to kind of in real life at this point.
Got you.
But yeah, just as far as like continuing to see them and going to the shows and stuff, like
She will not be in Europe.
I will not be in
But
Europe,
she
and
will
like
be
I
back.
love them forever, and of course I'm going to see them again eventually.
Yeah.
But my friends and I feel like all kind of agreed that we kind of got everything out of it. Like,
You did. You got the super
worldwide, living our dreams, like showing them how much we love them is my whole thing from not getting to see them that much when I was little. Yeah, and like the friendship is really just the big thing. It's like we make plans to see each other for like non-BTR reasons all the time. Like we celebrate each other's birthdays and like little Vegas trips coming up. Like, you know, just fun stuff to get to see each other. So
got you. Now transitioning a little bit more into figure skating, because as much as you're convincing me to become a BTR stan, which I don't know how much convinced I am, maybe I need to see more of their performances, to be honest. Because I see the memes. I don't see much.
Yeah, you need to watch their actual performances, and just like, I think their music is genuinely so good. I mean, like, I wouldn't be doing all this if I didn't love the music more than anything else. And like, even my friend and I, we were like on a road trip a couple weeks ago just listening to them and doing all the like little background vocals and the little dances from the shows. Like, we were just saying, like, there's no music that I know more like the back of my hand than Big Time Rush. Like, I just listen to them constantly.
Because you're like a metalhead. Exception, Big Time Rush.
Kind of. I mean, I listen to like other pop music and stuff too, but I just think, like, vocally, they're so talented. And
we need to touch on this iconic moment in your life, because you have the craziest random moments. Do you want to talk about the iconic viral video of the Dolan Twins?
Oh my God, I would love to. Thank you for bringing this up.
I'm going to let you take the floor with that. I'm sure most of you guys have actually seen this video, because I had seen it and had no idea that it was you.
So I, like, knew the Dolan Twins back in the day. Like,
we're going to touch on that.
No, just like watch them on like whatever.
Yeah.
I like met them at a Digi tour, but I didn't like keep up with them that much. I knew a few years back that they said something about a hiatus. I did not know that the hiatus was currently happening still. So I was in LA this past summer for.
Was that recent?
It was in August, yeah. Because BTR was playing the Forum on their most recent tour, and I was there for that date. It was the day before the show, and my friend and I were. We were just like literally getting ramen, but it was at a place that was like above the Dolby Theater. So there was like a little short film premiere thing going on, and we're like looking over this balcony after we got our ramen, and she looks down, she's like, oh my God, those are the Dolan Twins. And I was
the Dolan Twins who haven't been like seen IRL or online in years.
Yeah, but again, I didn't really know this. Like, I kind of forgot about the hiatus in the moment, to be honest. And so we went downstairs, and there was kind of like a small crowd around this little premiere red carpet, because I guess they were there for a short film that they had produced. Again, I didn't know anything about it. I haven't kept up with them in a couple years. And so, I don't know, we were just kind of hovering, like, maybe we get a chance to meet them. They're probably too busy. A couple other girls caught them and, like, asked for selfies, and they said no. Understandably, they were running around. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to ask for that, but, like, I want to say something to them. And okay, for context, earlier that day, we were at the Santa Monica Pier, and we saw Noah Beck randomly.
You keep running into all these internet white men. I don't
didn't say anything to him, but my friend and I had made a joke about, like, we should ask him if he's going to Big Time Rush tomorrow. And I was like, I have the opportunity to do the funniest thing that's ever been done. So the Dolan Twins were literally just standing there waiting for an elevator, and I walked up, and I said, are you seeing Big Time Rush at the Forum tomorrow night?
The Dolan Twins, who literally in the video are like, what?
Well, I said, can I ask you a question? They were like, sure. They probably thought I was going to ask for a selfie, but I said, are you seeing Big Time Rush at the Forum tomorrow night?
And their faces.
The elevator comes, and so Grayson kind of doesn't say anything, gets in the elevator, but Ethan's like, no, we're not. And I was like, well, you should go. And he's just like, oh, we have to be here like for our film screening. And I was like, well, you should catch him next time. And he's just like, all right, walks in the elevator. I'm like, love you. He said, love you.
So then this successful fangirl posts that video, and the internet is like, oh my God, the Dolan Twins, which haven't been seen in years.
So, yeah, I like, again, just for proof purposes, because I had tweeted earlier that day, I just asked Noah Beck if he's seeing Big Time Rush tomorrow, and that was a lie. And so when I tweeted about the Dolan Twins, I wanted people to know that I was not lying this time.
You came with receipts.
So I said, I have proof this time. And it was just like, people were like mad that I invaded their privacy. Again, I did not remember they were still on hiatus.
You did not invade their privacy.
And also, I literally just did it from my small little Twitter account to be like, look, I asked them if they're seeing Big Time Rush.
Blew up because everybody was like, this is the first time I'm seeing the Dolan Twins, and that's what you asked.
Yeah, so I posted on Twitter. All my Big Time Rush friends were like, this is hilarious. But then it goes to the Dolan side of Twitter, and they're like, this is the first video we've seen of them in years. Like, they were like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm hearing Ethan's voice right now. I did not know. And so it got like 500 likes on Twitter. Again, like nothing crazy.
And then it goes on TikTok.
But somebody took it from Twitter and posted it on their TikTok account. No credit, thank God. And it got 3 million.
Got the credit now.
It got 3 million views on TikTok.
And all the comments are so funny because it's just like, what? Why would this girl ask
I
her
know,
this?
because without the context of this being posted on my Big Time Rush fan account Twitter, it looks absolutely clinically insane. So
imagine going up to Justin Bieber after he announces he's having a baby, which congrats, Bieber. And the first thing you say is, so you're going to Big Time Rush? Or
I would. He's probably sick of hearing about
you
the
should
baby.
make this a series.
I would do it.
Every new, because you keep running into people. Any new random person, if you run into Nash Greer, first thing you should say, you going to Big Time Rush?
I could be like Harry Daniels, but instead of singing, I just ask if there's
yes!
some Big Time Rush.
Literally make it a freaking series. Oh, now she's going to Europe just for that.
No.
She says
Cut,
no, cut.
please.
The blurs are not going to be there. I love how dramatic this is. But anyways, back to figure skating because that is what I'm trying to convince her of caring about. You confessed something the other day, which had me shooketh to my core.
I'm
you
sorry,
said,
I didn't wait.
You literally said, wait, so you're going to talk to me about figure skating? And I'm like, a bit. You know, it's more about you and your hyperfixation, but I'm trying to bring it back to figure skating. And then you said,
I used to figure skate.
hello, bomb. Why are you dropping this bomb? You know I confessed before the face reveal that I had this figure skating channel. And I don't think you said anything.
Well, it's because it's not like I keep up with, the professional world of it or anything.
I have no friends who care about figure skating, and you figure skate. I mean, you don't really care. What drove you to figure skating? Did you have any figure skaters? And when did you stop?
No, it really wasn't that deep. It was more so just like when I was a kid, I started doing it like recreationally, but then like at the little like skating area, I did it, and I did like their ice shows and their little competitions, and like I only did it for probably like. No, I probably skated for like 4 years as a kid. Like it never went to anything crazy.
What age?
Probably like. When did I stop? I would say somewhere between like 7 to 11 or like 8 to 12, like that kind of.
So right before you found Big Time Rush. I see what happened here.
There was a small overlap in the years of like 9 to 11.
They took you away from my hyperfixation. But wait, was there? Do you know any figure skating names?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I know nothing about like the world of it.
This is my fucking issue.
I enjoy it.
This is my problem. Is that most people know the sport, but they don't know anything else besides that. They know Tanya. They know Nancy Kerrigan. You know Tanya Harding. Hi, Tanya. Damn, not even that. Tanya Margot Robbie.
I'm not kidding. I mean, I know of the movie, but I really know nothing about.
But you know the scandal, the knee bashing. So you didn't watch the movie?
No, I know of it.
Damn, not even the most popular figure skating movie can get people into it. What do I need to do with Lord?
If the Olympics are on and I see it, I'm like, wow, that's pretty.
Yeah, that's literally it. It's like,
it.
wow, look at that girl in a dress. Wow. Look at her
I love
spin.
like going skating for fun.
You see, this is
like,
the dramatic moment. I don't know how to figure skate. I don't know how to skate at all. All
I'll
I
teach
can
you.
do. Thank you. All I can do is not fall. Like I can just like kind of stand there like Bambi on ice, but I don't fall. That's as much as I can do.
Yeah, no. And even when I did take lessons, it was really never anything advanced. I like learned how to do a toe loop.
That's advanced to me. I can't do shit.
Like a single, like
That's pretty.
I don't
honestly,
know. I'm just saying,
people.
like it was never anything crazy.
Was it
just,
your
like,
mom,
when I was a kid.
or was it just like because you never had the interest? It was just like this is something I do after school.
Well, no, you know what did steal me away from figure skating was when I started doing theater more. So it's like my recreational activity.
That became your new activity.
Yeah. Again, there was some like overlap, but it was hard to do both with scheduling, and I was like, I want to sing. So I did theater more
economically smart as well. But yeah, I don't know. Like most people just kind of like to look at it. This is why I do these videos. It's because I need people to understand the behind the scenes. Because once you know the drama, you see, now that I know about the blurs, I'm interested in the Big Time Rush fandom. The moment this interview ends, I'm going to go on Twitter and be like, what the hell is happening here? But it sounds like there's not that much drama. It's just like stans and girls and fan cams. I will say on TikTok, the light that I see them in, it's more of like they'll switch out their songs to like a song of them like Baby Got Back or something and them dancing.
Someone did like the VeggieTales song, like, I don't know.
Yes, I think I've seen that edit. So with them, it's more of like a, oh my God, nostalgia situation. With mine, it's more of like, oh my God, pretty. And then they look away every 4 years.
Yeah, in like the mainstream, it's definitely like a nostalgia thing. You're like, people, another thing is, as far as them trying to get away from the shows, like people show up to the shows in like tree hats, which is a thing in the show, or like dressed up as like Gustavo, who is like, you know, their producer in the show. Like people show up making references to the show, or like wearing helmets because Carlos wore a helmet in the show, and saying and yelling stuff like, "Where's your helmet?"
You're like so tired of it after 14 shows of "Where's your helmet?"
And it's like they indulge it because they know that's where a lot of people know them from. But then there is also that factor of like, can we just be serious musicians, please?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna. Again, maybe I made it too rough. They did come from a Nickelodeon show. Imagine if Miley Cyrus only performed as Hannah Montana. That is the kind of the situation.
Yeah, and
they're
so
stuck
I mean,
in,
they're aware
they're
of
still
it.
called Big Time Rush. It's not Miley. You know?
Yeah, it is the same name, which BTR bought the rights actually from Nickelodeon. But yeah, I don't know. They're not like rude about people referencing the show in any way. They're very like aware that those are their roots, but you can tell kind of when it annoys them, especially like in interviews more so than like with fans, when that's like all they're being asked about. But as far as like,
are they trying to rebrand as BTR instead of Big Time Rush? Or
no, they still go by Big Time Rush. But as far as like the core fan base, like people who stick to the show and stuff, is definitely more so like the mainstream fans than like the actual fandom. And yeah, I don't know, any like fandom drama I've really touched on is just like the disconnect of like the amount of shows that people go to.
Well, that
and it's
happens.
Like unfortunate.
That
it happens
with
in every fandom. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. It's really nothing super unique.
No.
What I will say is kind of unique about it is just how like personable Big Time Rush is with their fans. Is more so than like any other artist I've ever seen, and I think that can cause people to form parasocial relationships. And I hate like that word because like everybody who goes to a lot of shows gets accused of it, but there definitely are cases where you see like that people think they are genuinely their best friends and like genuinely have some type of like
boundaries, what you're trying to say.
Relationship that goes beyond artist and fan. And it's like, yes, they like know my friends' names and faces, and like, you know, they've come up to us, like they're so nice to us, but at the end of the day, like, we're not hanging out after the shows. You know what I mean?
No,
it's
it ends
like,
it's an artist-fan relationship, and that's where it ends and begins.
And so I think there's a lot of conflict where, like, people just argue over how each other sees that relationship. And yeah, I don't know. A lot of assumptions get made, I feel, but that's why I choose to just be quiet a lot of the time.
I mean, not today. But you know what? I love this insight because I genuinely had no idea, honestly, about their life or their career or a lot of that. Like I said, I didn't really watch their show. I kind of watch it peripherally. I was just kind of waiting for Victoria's to come on, to be honest. But the fact that they've kind of held on to a strong fandom kind of is commendable to the fact that they are trying and they are succeeding. Because they keep growing, right? Like, that's where they're in Europe right now.
I mean, I would say so. Again, like, just especially in terms of their live shows, I think, like, their streaming numbers are a little sad. Like, especially with the album release. Like, people really aren't listening as much as you would think they are when you see, like, the type of venues that they sold out.
You know what? We work in the music industry, and we know that what's important is the tour.
Well, that's
so
what
the
I'm
fact
saying,
that they
it's
can
so
sell
rare, like,
tour seats rather than streaming numbers, because streaming doesn't even pay that much anyways.
And that's what I'm saying. It's so rare to have an artist where it's, like, that way around. And I think that's, like, they're in such a good position to keep that going if they just keep touring. And they also know that people are going to keep coming back and going to all their shows.
Yeah, like, they're so... They know that you and the Blurs are going to stand no matter what.
We're taking 2024 off, so they might reevaluate some strategy after that. But no, I mean, there's plenty of people who are still going to Europe, and they're doing some, like, state fair shows in, like, the summer and the fall.
I think
just
go
as,
to
like,
every corner.
Yeah, just kind of, like, as filler, because they're working on new music mostly this year. And, like, Kendall just had a baby, actually, which is, like,
aren't
exciting.
they all dads now?
Just Carlos and now Kendall.
Okay.
Kind
of like One Direction, which is Louis and Liam.
Zayn.
Oh, Zayn. Fuck.
Zayn.
Yes. No, you're right. With Gigi Hadid, you're right. How did I forget that? Oops. But yeah, so, I mean, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5. Makes sense. 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. Therefore, big time rushers. Do they have positions like in K-pop or not?
No.
It's just big time rush.
Yeah,
there's no like leader. There's no, because everything wasn't Kendall like the lead in the show.
In the show, kind of.
The romantic lead, at least.
Yeah, and I mean also like similar to One Direction in certain ways where like they, I feel like back in the show days it'd be like Kendall might sing more of the songs or
Yeah,
whatever,
like vocal positions probably are.
but especially
delineated.
like now that they're independent, they're very focused on making sure that everyone gets their own like moments to shine and their own like things going on during the live shows.
Wait, can you tell me like their stereotypes? Like which one's like the bad boy? Which one's like the silly
Logan.
one? Oh, Logan's the bad boy.
Yeah.
Who's like the goofy or the romantic one? Like the
Kendall.
Kendall. Okay.
Kendall's known for like his dad jokes and stuff. Like
Okay, so who's the what's Carlos? Is he not the funny one? I thought he was the funny one. Maybe in the show.
in the show, I mean, Carlos is just very sweet
Okay, the
and
sweet
like
one.
so appreciative and nice.
And your baby boy, what is he? Logan.
Logan?
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
Oh, he's the bad boy. What's James?
James is just like honestly, in terms of like their operations, he's definitely like the leader these days. I mean, he's
Okay.
very much like his brand is like fitness, and he's just like
Oh, he's the fit one. I
almost like the
remember.
bro of the
tall one.
group, but like yeah, he's just I don't
The
know, it's kind
bro.
of like running everything. Even like in their VIP, like packages, they have like this like backstage huddle that they do as part of their VIP,
Mm-hmm.
and every show it's like James is the one who's like corralling everyone and like leading it, and like
Gotcha.
I would say is almost a leader in that way.
Was he the one that was on Celebrity Big Brother?
Mhm.
Okay. Funny. Just because I've seen some clips of him being like, I'm a musician. I am a music man.
James definitely takes himself very seriously sometimes. He's
him.
very passionate about what he's passionate about, and sometimes that gets him into trouble, but
But in like a fun way. Like I enjoy it. I don't know his troubles. I do not stand by this man. I don't know what
Yeah.
issues he has had.
I
have
think that's
no
probably
idea.
the best thing to say
Okay,
for you right now.
I step away from whatever he's done. All I know is I saw one clip of him in Big Brother and it made me chuckle. I'll say that.
You know what we haven't
Interesting.
talked about that is
Yes.
so crucial to the Big Time Rush lore, and I can't believe I'm the one bringing this up, is their tour with One Direction.
They had a tour with One Direction.
Mhm.
When?
2012. It was the Better With You tour,
Was it when One Direction did their first like U.S. tour?
and they opened for Big Time Rush.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
Yeah, well, so many people assumed that it was the other way around, but no, One Direction opened for them.
Wow.
And it was really unfortunate because a lot of people went to the shows and left after One Direction, and that was like,
Oh, because they were already huge. That's the thing that I'm kind of confused about in terms of history. Because One Direction, there was like no like growing One Direction. Like I feel like when they hit the ground in the U.S., they were already kind of big. So people would go watch One Direction and then just peace
yeah,
out.
and that's something that was like, caused so much like,
Drama.
I don't even want to
heartache.
say drama, like literal fighting between the fandoms, but also was just so hard on Big Time Rush themselves.
Well, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, just like emotionally to deal with, and like,
Damn.
I don't know. It's really sad to like they don't love to talk about it. I feel,
I mean,
but
I'm sure.
it's also just makes it nice to see like how far they've come to
Yeah,
be
now they're
like,
filling up arenas on
selling
their
out
own.
their own
Yeah.
tours. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that tour was already the tickets were sold before One Direction was even announced to be on it, and people still left, which is criminal.
Really?
But yeah, I don't know. It's also something that's like I feel important to their lore because they get compared to One Direction so much, and people.
Well, it's just it was our boy band of the time. You know, there was Backstreet Boys and then
Yeah.
Sync, and then there was something else, and then there was One Direction.
Yeah, I mean, One Direction like undeniably ended up blowing up to be so much bigger than
Yeah.
Big Time Rush, but
And
I think
then
like.
after One Direction, BTS, which we won't mention.
But I
again.
think like because of that and having followed like the one, because Big Time Rush ended around the time that One Direction really blew up, and so I think
you're right, 2014.
people really just thought like, well, One Direction crushed Big Time Rush and like they're done, and so it's just nice to see that they were able to come
Well,
back.
wasn't it
like-
just happened that their show ended? That's just kind of what happened, right?
But it's like, well, why was the show canceled? You know what I mean?
Oh, it was canceled.
I mean, obviously, I don't know like the ins and outs, but it was
Exclusive.
ended, by
Okay.
Nickelodeon. So, and
Very
so did the
interesting.
band. So, I don't know. I just am very proud of them for coming
Oh.
back and like doing the whole thing independently.
And
Buying
being
the
an independent
rights.
artist is hard because there's a lot of self-funding going on, especially for
Yeah,
the music.
and for like this much like, they don't have like tour support. You know what I mean? To be doing all these huge shows is like crazy. So then here I am being their tour support.
Actually, their promo manager right here, going on every pot. I'm kidding. But honestly, you have done, I'm sure, a lot for the fandom, because once you get the ball rolling, not to like talk about myself, but honestly, once I started posting videos, the reason I started posting videos about figure skating is because there was no YouTube channel that I could go just to kiki haha. There are a lot of commentators that talk about it technically and talk about maybe some more behind the scenes, like more intense drama, or like just like the toe loop, the outer edge wasn't used enough. Like I just wanted to talk about like this is crazy, like this is happening. Like I just wanted a fangirl, and there was like no fangirl out there. And the more videos I created, the more people I got into the sport, and the more like kind of like I'm sure that the blurs, high blurs, created like some sort of kind of waves that kind of brought people in or got people back at least interested enough to go to a tour that they might have not gotten before.
Yeah, I mean, not even just like, you know, some of our like TikToks have blown up and had people go like, oh my God, I didn't know they were still around. But even just people in our real lives, like I had people that I went to high school with message me and be like, hey, I went to their show because of you and it was incredible.
Aww.
Like,
you see, I love that. I love that. It's like whenever, you know what? This is how we're going to end this interview because I think we'll be going on for about 40 minutes. I will promise to watch a few clips of them performing. Do you prefer me go like back in time or like today, 2024?
Do like their recent tours.
Okay, do like just videos of them on their recent tour. Is there a specific song you want to plug since you're here as a promoter, manager? Or what would me, a fan who's not really a fan, just someone who knows them peripherally, what would you recommend for me to do in terms to like get into them and understand them too and want to love them to the level that you do?
I would say if you go to like videos of their past tour, they Can't Get Enough tour, vocally the song Invisible is like the most beautiful song ever. I literally cried.
Is it a ballad?
Kind of, yeah. Okay. And I like I did a thing this summer at every show. I took a picture of me crying and posted on Twitter during that song, and I'd be like, Invisible day 3, like not doing well.
This is the most fangirl behavior I've ever heard. Well, day 3 of me crying to Invisible.
I'm not kidding, it's a whole thread. And so yeah, that one I think vocally is probably their strongest. In terms of like performance,
yeah, because I like performance. Like I'm a BTS stan. Sorry, that is my boy band. And I love like a performance. Like what is it? The one where they're getting jiggy with it? The one where they're doing the little jump.
They have a
thing?
song, Nothing Even Matters, that has some cute choreography, or even just the opening to
the last tour.
The last tour, yeah.
I'll do the opening and Nothing Even Matters and Invisible, just so I can cry.
I'll send it to you if you need me to.
Send me, girl. Make me a YouTube playlist. I will be sad. I am sad. I will be sad.
Yeah, no, it's just so fun.
And then if I do that, I need you to watch. I'm trying to think. Tell me what you would like, because you were into figure skating in terms of a recreational sport, but during the Olympics. Do you remember anything at all? Like, do you know? You don't know any names.
Nothing
you don't
specific,
know any.
No.
Do you prefer the ladies? Do you prefer the men's? Do you prefer okay? So there's 4 disciplines. Ladies and men's are them alone skating. Then there's pairs where they throw the girl up in the sky and they catch them. And then there is ice dance, which is imagine like ballroom dancing, like on the ice.
Probably just ladies, because that's like what I kind of grew up doing.
My favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like what you do on your channel is so fun because I watch like like the makeup channels.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you watched the video. I'm like, you did.
Not like figure skating related, but just like other drama channels and the beauty world stuff.
I'm basically a drama channel figure skating.
That's what I'm saying. Like I love that kind of content, and like even the like tea channels I do subscribe to, if they post a video about like a YouTuber I don't even know, I'll usually watch it just because I like that channel.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do. Like I have a theory that honestly is bulletproof at this point. If you like Drag Race, Eurovision, or the Spice Girls, you will like figure skating because they're kind of the same thing. Like if you like Drag Race, you like the pageantry and the drama and like the glitter.
I loved like Dance Moms.
Oh, girl. I watched the reunion last night and I was just like the parallels. If you like Dance Moms, you will like figure skating because it's the same intensity, the same drama, and the same glitter and performance.
That's honestly. The thing is like I grew up loving like theater and dance and performance, and I'm like so not an athlete, so I was like
same.
I wanted to figure skating more so like for the dance aspect of it.
The only sport I follow is figure skating. That's like the only sport I follow. That's sad. Like it's not even really. I mean, it is a sport. It's very athletic. It's very hard, but. Yay sports. Like that's all I have to say. But now that I know that you like Dance Moms, who was your favorite Dance Mom? Now that's all I need to know for me to know what kind of performer you would like. Were you a Maddie girl? Were you a Chloe girl? Were you a Kalani, JoJo situation? Like what was the one that stands out the most? Was it their hip hop? Was it their balletic?
Yeah, I don't know. I think.
Or were you there for the drama?
I mean, dance wise, like Maddie is just so
I know.
talented,
I was a Maddie girl.
I don't know. I loved like Nia's personality.
Yes. Yeah. Dr. Holly. Love her.
And Kalani probably once
Kalani,
she
yeah.
joined.
Well, you see now, because
Pretty
I know
relatable.
what you're gonna like. You're gonna like the it girls, the figure skating. You're gonna like, the I'm gonna say names that you don't know who they are, but you're gonna like the Evgenia Medvedevas, the Camila Maria caught for doping, but a very talented girl. The Sasha Cohens, the Michelle Kwans, the Yuna Kim. Oh, you would love Yuna Kim. Basically, it's every it girl that ever was that just exude like that bitch energy on the ice. Like that bitch that just flew over us. But I feel like that's what you would like on the ice. Just kind of like someone mothering on the ice is what I think you would like. And then also like beauty, balletic. But that's figure skating. They're all pretty, anyways. But I'll create you like a 4-video playlist, and you can create me a 4-video playlist. But the way we end every interview is with the question, the title of the podcast: Do you care now? Which I think the answer is no, but maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I would say probably. Like, I'm going to watch the videos you send.
And you used to figure skate, and you like dance moms, which is kind of adjacent to figure skating, honestly.
Yeah, so
The answer's probably.
Once we dive in a little more to the drama of it all,
Ooh,
probably.
I'm gonna send you some links to my own videos about the drama of it all.
Yeah, I'll watch.
Oh my god, this is the first no we've gotten ever. Every person I've ever interviewed was like,
Because
no.
what is the point of sitting on this couch and not listening? My god.
Thank you. And you know what? I think I might like BTR because I love boy bands. I was a CNCO stan. My boys just broke up. I need to get you into CNCO. They sing in Spanish, but it's fine.
You know, Big Time Rush put out a couple of like Spanglish songs. is what they call
Really?
them.
Okay,
Yeah.
add those to my playlist. But yeah, honestly, success for me. We got it probably for the first time ever. So, you know what? Yeah, fucking woo. And Big Time Rush, BTR, Blurs, Rushers.
Oh my gosh. Shout
This
out
one-
Blurs. Love you guys.
Shout out Blurs and Rushers. This one's out for you, and hopefully you guys care about both of these. And that's how we're ending it.
All right.
Thank you for coming. You
Thank
took
you
an
for
hour of your
having
day,
me.
2 hours out of your day to come here.
Yeah.
And it was very fun.
I had fun. Thank
Yay!
you for chatting.
All right. Bye, guys.